Welcome to Fantasy Filmball. My name is Matt. With me is Dyl, and today, as always, we are going to be doing a draft. It's the name of the game, Fantasy Filmball. We draft all the time. And Dylan, do you want to introduce this week's draft?
Definitely. So this week we are drafting 2023 movies. We're finally in the new year. There's a lot to look forward to, but I know to the detriment of some people out there, they'll be like, oh, I'm most looking forward to Killers of the Flower Moon, or I'm most looking forward to Maestro, or whatever. Those films, they're not eligible. The rule here today is this movie must have a release date on the schedule. It has to be... I know. It makes it more fun because...
I want to fight back on that because that means there's no Netflix movies eligible. There's no streaming movies eligible because they don't release their release dates. But, like, we know they're coming this year. So, like, Killers of the Flower Moon is definitely coming this year. Why should it not be eligible here?
Well, I would have said that last year, and it didn't come out.
Touche.
Same thing with Rustin last year. That probably would have been my most anticipated, but it didn't have a date, and this year it still doesn't, and obviously it's probably coming out, but we don't know that for a fact. So that way, we're not drafting movies like that, where possibly we look back at this like, oh, well, that movie didn't come out, that movie didn't come out, that movie didn't come out. This may be a more blockbuster and populist type list, but that can introduce some new movies that we may not get to talk about for the rest of the year. However, our last draft was 2 weeks ago, and I mean, I don't understand how I didn't win the holiday draft. I had such a great slate of different types of holiday films. But
you barely had any holiday films. I think that's the reason. I think the reason why you had a very good team, but I think mine represented the feeling of the holidays, the spirit of Christmas, if you will.
You're telling me you watch Eyes Wide Shut and you don't feel Christmas cheer all around?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. So I have the first pick here, and it's a snake draft order. So I go 1, you go 2 and 3. I'm really confident, actually, this time, because I think that some of my picks, I don't think you'll pick first and second.
Probably, but
I think I know what you're picking first and second.
Maybe. I got a top 3.
Okay, well, I'm taking one of those top 3. I'm sorry. Because my first pick is Denis Villeneuve.
Mm-hmm.
Dune Part 2. And my reason for picking this is the biggest film of this year. It's one of my most anticipated. It's going to be the continuation of everything we saw in Dune. And ultimately, I think that it has a potential of surpassing the first film.
Fair enough. Good pick. That was my number 1 on my list, so...
I know it was, so I'm sorry, but I think I know what 2 and 3 are for you.
Well, you know what 2 is, because Denis Villeneuve is getting the big Warner Brothers spectacle release of the year. The normal Warner Brothers guy, he had to hop to a new studio, and that's Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer. He gets his nice July release date, he gets to come out, he gets to showcase all his big spectacles, and I mean, if this man really created a nuclear explosion to record, it's gotta be great, right? So, give me Nolan. We got the 2 big boys out of the way. And there's another movie I have actually ahead of this next one I'm going to draft, but I feel like I can wait a little bit to get it, because I don't feel like it's at the top of your list, even though it is my actual number 2 movie I'm most looking forward to coming out this year.
And I know it's Barbie, so you can take it later.
It's not Barbie. No, Barbie is actually a lot lower on my list. I am looking forward to it.
I thought that Barbie would have been like your second pick.
I was really thinking about it because I think it would be funny to pair Oppenheimer and Barbie together.
That was my thought.
But I'm not going to do that. There's another movie ahead of Barbie that I also really want to draft, but I know you're not drafting it, so I can wait forever to draft it. So here, I'm going to take something I think you're more inclined to take, because if I don't take it here, I'm not getting that, and I love Top Gun Maverick, so let's run it back with Dead Reckoning Part 1. Good.
Okay, you didn't take one of the 2 that I was looking forward to for my next picks. So, all right, explain. What's your reasoning behind Dead Reckoning here?
So, we all went to see Way of Water. We got that little teaser showing Tom Cruise with his motorcycle driving off of a cliff. That looks cool. This whole movie's going to be cool. And the Christopher McQuarrie Mission Impossible movies, I think, are better than the James Bond movies. And that's coming from a super James Bond fan.
I agree.
So, alone, I'm there, day 1, IMAX, let's get it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Did I tell you that when I saw Avatar, the crowd cheered during that trailer for Mission Impossible?
You didn't, but I would believe you because my crowd did as well.
Yeah, they screamed when he went off the cliff. Everyone was like,
I heard
"Let's
a gasp.
go!"
I heard a gasp. Someone went like, oh.
It was crazy. Okay.
All right.
For my next pick, I have to go with the one that I've been talking up. I said last week that I literally looked up flight tickets to go to Japan to see this film. Okay. So my next pick is going to be Hayao Miyazaki's final film, How Do You Live? This film, I think, is going to be one of my favorites of the year, if not my absolute favorite of the year. I think that this is going to absolutely demolish me. It's going to reduce me to a puddle of tears. Hayao Miyazaki has meant so much to me in my life, and this film is kind of closing out a chapter. I mean, I've talked about it in the podcast. I have a cat named Totoro, and I have another cat named Calcifer. So, like, you know, this matters to me. And then my next pick, I'm going to go with another animated film right here. So for my next pick, I'm going to pick Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Good pick.
And I know
reasoning
that you're
behind
a big fan.
this, yeah. I loved the first one. I think Phil Lord and Chris Miller are geniuses. And just in general, I think there's so much potential for this film. And I have insider intel that this film might be better than the first one. Well, I spoke to someone who went over the storyboards, and he said that he worked on Spider-Verse 1, and he said at this point, keep in mind, this was 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, he said at this point, he thinks that Spider-Verse 2 is better than the first one was at that point.
That's good to hear. I have been a little skeptical with the marketing and trailer so far. It hasn't really sold me, but I love the first one so much. I'm down for it. It was a little bit lower on my list, but I knew it was going to get drafted, so I knew I would probably not get this in this draft. However, we've come to the point I feel like I need to draft those two movies I was talking about earlier because, yeah, why not? So I'll take the one that Matt expects me to take, and that's Barbie.
Yeah.
Am I the biggest Greta Gerwig fan? No, I'm not. But I am very much anticipating this, and I love the trailer, even though, well, I guess it's a teaser, even though it's like 45 seconds. I'm down with the vibes, the colors, the production style, the costumes, and I'm a huge Margot Robbie superfan, so of course that's going to draw me in. Ryan Gosling, yes. And I'm just really excited to see what type of take Greta Gerwig brings to this, because I feel there's a lot of different directions she could go. And there's some I'm personally hoping for and some I hope that she doesn't. But I will reserve judgment and keep an open mind. I am down for the Barbie Oppenheimer double feature that will take place later this year. And now it's time to probably draft this movie too early because this is not on your list at all. But I don't want it to be the last pick because this is my prediction for the biggest film in terms of money next year. And that is The Little Mermaid.
Whoa. Okay. You think that's going to make the most money next year? I could see it. I could see it.
I think there's a case for 4 movies to make the most money next year. And 2 of them have been drafted. They're both on my team of Dead Reckoning and The Little Mermaid. And the other 2 is A Little Italian Plumber and An Old Man and a Dial. So one of those 4 will make the most. And take your pick. They all have cases. But that's for another conversation. But Little Mermaid, I am a huge Halle Bailey fan. I love her music. I'm really excited to see what she brings to this role. I really enjoy Lin-Manuel Miranda's writing style when it comes to music. Encanto, Hamilton, and The Heights, Moana. He's doing the music for this movie. I'm down. Daveed Diggs is my favorite part of Hamilton. He is Sebastian in this. And I've heard from test screenings, this is the best Disney live-action film. So I'm holding that to heart and hoping that it is reality.
Fingers crossed. Hoping for you. I hope it for you. I think that might have just killed your team because I don't think many people are going to be highly anticipating a Disney live-action remake. But
maybe not,
I think it looks great.
I am.
And this is about us, you know. So for my next pick, I'm going to pick one that I actually thought you were going to pick there. And this is Paul King, Wonka. The reason I'm going for Wonka is no one makes kids' movies like Paul King. He made the Paddington movies, which both of those films are some of the most flawless, most wholesome films ever. We got Timothée Chalamet in the lead role of Willy Wonka, and it's a musical. The music's gonna be great. I don't know who's doing the music, but I just assume it's gonna be good. We've heard some clips of Timothée Chalamet singing. It sounds great. It looks great. It's Paul King. It's Willy Wonka. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a holiday release that I cannot wait for. And my final pick in my top 5 is going to be Asteroid City. Wes Anderson's new movie. I love Wes Anderson. He does not fail me. The French Dispatch, that underperformed, was still one of my favorite movies of last year. I love Isle of Dogs. I love The Grand Budapest Hotel more than anything. Wes Anderson is just a director that constantly delivers for me. And Asteroid City sounds like it's going to be one that does exactly the same. Just from what I've heard about the story, it seems like something that I'm going to just adore.
All right, so you have a good team there, well-rounded. And for my last pick, I made a list of like 30 movies I thought about drafting, and I tried to delete some for this last pick. And I probably should have taken Wonka because I could have got The Little Mermaid here, but I don't want to have two musicals. I would rather have Little Mermaid over Wonka for my team. So I got Little Mermaid, I got Barbie, I got Oppenheimer, I got Dead Reckoning. So do I go with blockbuster spectacle? Do I go with horror? Or do I go with something that's just going to be a little insane? And sadly, I will not be drafting Cocaine Bear, even though I really want to. I'm going to abstain from that here because that would completely tank my team. And I would draft the new Ari Aster movie, but that poster that came out the other day really killed my anticipation. And technically, that does not have a release date either, so that would be bending the rules a little bit.
It does.
Oh, it does?
It's April. Yeah, it's officially April.
April sucks. I don't want it to come out in April. That's Northman.
It's the Northman.
All again.
Yeah. It's the Northman.
All right. So final pick here. You know what? I mentioned before I love Top Gun Maverick, and the Top Gun Maverick copycat comes out next year, and that is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Indy is back.
Nice.
Mads Mikkelsen is going to do another great villainous role. Who doesn't love Mads? And I mean, I just blanked on his name. The director, his last few films have really worked for me.
James
I love
Mangold.
Ford v Ferrari. James Mangold, there you go. Ford v Ferrari is very good. Logan's very good. And I would assume Indy 5 will be very good. And who knows, maybe this could become my new personal favorite Indy movie so I can stop saying it's Temple of Doom.
Maybe. That'd be great if you could. I mean, hopefully it's not Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's all I hope for from this movie.
Hopefully
it's
not.
It's going to be John Williams' final score. So who knows? Maybe he gets nominated for that.
I want to give a few honorable mentions, though. Like I said, there's other movies I was looking at here. I like how none of us technically drafted a superhero. I guess you got Across the Spider-Verse, but a live-action superhero. Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy was here, but I don't know. I'm happy for it, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I need to be there day one. I'm really excited for Super Mario. I know a lot of people aren't, so I didn't want to draft it for that reason. Creed 3, I think it's too small. Scream 6, heck yeah. Saw 10, let's go. And then I had The Color Purple as my last honorable mention.
I think all good picks for honorable mentions. I mean, for me, I only had a list of 10, so Guardians of the Galaxy and The Color Purple were the only ones that I am missing here.
So let's recap our teams. You had the first pick, so let's lead us out, Team Matt here.
I started with Dune Part 2. Then I went to Hayao Miyazaki's How Do You Live? After that, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. I messed up that title there. Then we've got Wonka, and finishing us off, Asteroid City, Wes Anderson's newest film.
And on the flip side, we got Christopher Nolan's newest, Oppenheimer, Tom Cruise back in action with Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. We both have a movie with a title that is way too long, that's also a Part 1. And then we move into Barbie and The Little Mermaid, every little girl's dream outing this future season. And we close it out with every old person's favorite movie of the year, Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny.
Right on. I think I really like your team, but I think I'm going to take this one.
We'll see. I'm on a little skid. I made that whole claim like, oh, I'm undefeated. I haven't lost, and I've lost 2 in a row. So it's time to turn the ship around. But everyone out there, Twitter, vote. YouTube, vote. Whatever. It doesn't even matter if you vote for me. Whatever. I just like to see the votes out there.
Just Pokemon Go to the polls.
Yeah, and if you think our picks are trash, even give us a downvote. Let us know down below why no one drafted a Marvel or DC movie. Like, are we insane? We didn't draft the biggest movies of the year? The Flash? Blue Beetle? Like, what?
Yeah, man. The Flash. There's one that's... I still can't believe Warner Brothers is canceling everything except The Flash.
Well, it's already filmed, and it's been filmed since like 2019, I'm pretty sure. So they got to release it, or they're gonna eat $200 million.
I mean, they did with Batgirl, so like
That was a cheaper one. Still, I don't agree with the decision, but Flash I think costs like 4 times as much.
yeah, I believe it. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching Fantasy Filmball. Let us know who has the best list. And my name is Matt.
And my name is Dyl, and this is Fantasy Filmball.